Hello, everyone. We want to welcome you to our webinar today. We are excited to have Gino from Innovia with us. And Gino is going to be presenting on making teams more collaborative with apps. And before I pass it over to Gino to cover on this topic, I just want to let you know that we are recording this session and it will be posted in our on-demand webinar library for you to review and share with anyone. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to type those in the questions box. We will have a Q&A time at the end of our session. So now I'll pass it on to Gino to kick off our presentation.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today and to meet with Innovia Consulting on making teams more collaborative with apps. I look forward to presenting on this topic. I know Teams is fairly new to everybody, and it's something that as Microsoft is pushing hard on. So those of you who use, Skype for Business in your organization or use other type of communication and collaboration applications and are searching for something new, Teams is a very, in my opinion, is a very good contender for that portion of your infrastructure. And I'm excited to share with you today, my thoughts on it and just dig into the app a little bit and show you how it works. So as Angie mentioned before, my name is Gino Pack. I'm a project manager here at Innovia Consulting. I've been at Innovia for about a year, but I've been in the IT industry for about 10 years now. And I've been working with NAV and BC for 10 years. And I've also ran an infrastructure for a company for a number of years as well. And I'm excited to be, on the VAR side and be able to see how other companies are using technology, using NAV, using Business Central, using Microsoft's stack in their organization and help them use it better. So let's go ahead and jump right in, okay? Because I got a lot to cover in just a short amount of time. So Microsoft Teams is part of the Microsoft what's called Stack. It's a platform of application that's built on top of their Microsoft, 365 environment. Microsoft has sort of been on this push over the last 10 years of moving all of their most popular applications, to the cloud and sort of having them under one unified platform or bubble. Okay, and the reason why is so Microsoft just can have these apps talk to each other, so collaboration can be easier, so sharing with people across your organization a lot easier. And Teams is one of the newest products within this Microsoft stack. Now, Teams is replacing Office or Skype for Business. Okay, Microsoft made that announcement at the end of last year that they are phasing out Skype for Business and replacing it with Microsoft Teams. It's a completely rebuilt application, and it's got a different take on it compared to other competitors out there. Yes, it can do a lot of the same things as an application such as Slack. But in my opinion, Teams is so much more powerful than that. And it's way more powerful than Skype for Business or Link was. And you'll see here in a little bit how Teams can be extremely powerful for your organization. Now, everyone's heard the phrase work smarter, not harder. Okay, so in today's technology environment, especially for people who are, either frontline workers or part of a big organization that is like a multi-location setup, or companies that are just strictly have a work from home policy, it makes it more difficult to be able to communicate with people and just walk up to somebody's desk and ask them a question. Microsoft and you find yourself using all these different apps. So you're using Skype, you're using Outlook for email and calendar related items. You're using SharePoint to share documents. You're using Microsoft Project for task management. And what Microsoft is trying to do is build Teams to be this collaborative platform where you can sort of do everything under one roof or under one environment. and it's built on that Office 365 foundation. So, you know, some of the things that I've seen that makes Teams so powerful is, you know, you have your ability to chat. You have your customizable team, so you can create a team that you can add users to your organization or even guests from outside of your organization to a team where they can collaborate and work together on a project or a specific functional area of your business. You can add channels to teams. So not only can you subset a team in your organization, you can subset channels within a team based off certain, you know, certain areas or criteria. So let's say you have a customer service team, okay, and then you can create various channels, you know, for tier 1 customer service, tier 2 customer service. You can create a channel for just the customer service team supervisors. So you can make your teams even further customizable and narrow down the scope. App integration, you can integrate third-party apps, and we'll be talking a little bit about that today. You can have open meetings, so you know, you can create a meeting in Teams, you can invite users to it, other Teams users to it, and then you can even record those meetings, save them, and share them later on Microsoft Stream. You have bots that allow you to provide automated tasks, and all of this, as I mentioned before, is fully integrated into the Microsoft 365 platform. Okay, so if you have a Microsoft 365 environment, you're using the Microsoft 365 subscriptions, it just makes sense to have Teams in your environment because all of that is integrated. Okay, all of that is integrated with your organization. And that's what makes, in my opinion, that last point about integrated Office, Microsoft 365 is the strongest point of why Teams is a better contender than other applications that are out there. Let's go ahead and jump on to the next slide here. So today, my main focus is going to be talking about how to take the base application of Microsoft Teams and extending it to add on additional functionality. Okay, so in Microsoft Teams, you have the ability to add what Teams calls our apps. Okay, and what apps are is it's add-on functionality that enhances a user's experience and brings additional functionality to the application. So you can take the basic functionality of making a phone call, scheduling a meeting, group chat, single chats with other teammates. You can take those and extend them to make it better. Like you can share files, you can share a weather report with your entire team daily. You can put a SharePoint document library out there. You can have OneNote notebooks that are shared across a team so everyone can collaborate on notes. So, you know, as you can see, the way to extend Microsoft Teams is pretty huge. You know, you can have personal apps, you can have bots, tabs, connectors, you can have messaging enhancements. These are all ways that you can extend Teams to make it more powerful in your organization. And all that is done through the Teams store. Okay, the Teams store is where you can search for apps that pretty much connect to a lot of the major services that are out there. As you can see, you can connect to analytics and BI services. You can connect to whatever help desk service you're using. There are project management apps that you can connect to that help you manage your projects in one area. So it just, and then you can even have a little fun. There are games on here. There are quizzes you can put out there. There's trivia apps that you can add to just bring some fun to your team as well. Now, when we're talking about extending Microsoft Teams, as I mentioned before, there are many different there are many different ways that you can extend Microsoft Teams. So just think about it as if you're using your smartphone or your cell phone. Yeah, the Android operating system is good. You can make phone calls, you can send text messages, you can you could make phone calls. I'd mentioned that before. You have a calendar app on here, but then you know what? I can also add Facebook. I can also add Instagram. I can also add other. I can add games onto my phone like solitaire. You know, I can add workplace email. I can put Microsoft Word on my phone. These are all ways to extend Android on my phone or add apps to my phone to be able to do more. And that's basically what you're doing with Microsoft Teams, okay? So for instance, like you can have personal apps in Microsoft Teams. So this is basically viewing everything that is yours. You don't have to share it with everybody, but it's one place to access everything that is yours. Examples of that is OneNote. You can attach your OneNote notebook to Microsoft Teams and modify your OneNote from within there. You can attach Microsoft Planner that helps you with all your task management. And you know, it just gives you a high-level overview of all your work in one place. Bots are another thing. So it's a way to get information quickly. You can install a bot that'll help you track packages, or you know, find out contact information for someone in your organization, or find out the weather. You know, and share the weather with your team, or share that information with your team. Bots can be very cool, cool ways to find out little nuggets of information. There are tabs. So within your teams and your channels, you could create tabs of custom content, okay? And you can have everything in one place. You can use, you know, there are built-in tabs that you can use that come with your team when you create it, or there are custom tabs that you could add as well, and they can be as simple as a web page. Connectors. So connectors deliver notifications to your team. Okay, so you're connecting to an outside source, and this outside source is updating your team of information. So one way it's used internally here at Innovia is we have a connector that is connected to Azure DevOps. And every time a developer publishes to our Azure DevOps repository, a notification gets sent to the developer team in Microsoft Teams, and it delivers a notification saying a repository has been updated. Messaging. So you can extend chat capabilities by delivering rich content such as GIFs or emojis. You can even deliver rich text, meeting notifications, and weather data all through messaging. So that's how you can extend the messaging capabilities to be beyond just text. And then custom apps. So if your organization allows it, you know, you could extend your team's application by building your own custom app. Now, there's obviously develop required, but Microsoft gives you a Teams developer platform where you can build your own apps to extend Teams even further with any custom integrations that you have for your business. You can also integrate your apps from Microsoft Power Apps into Teams. It's all part of the same Office 365 platform. So if you build an app in Power Apps or on the Power Automate platform, you can integrate that into Microsoft Teams as well. So that's very easy. It allows it for non-developers to be able to build apps and add them to Microsoft Teams as well. So now let's go ahead and jump into the demo for today. Okay, so I'm just going to switch over to my Microsoft Teams environment here. And as you can see, when I first open up Teams, it brings me to the main screen that has my feed here. And this is a blank environment right now. This is my testing environment, so it's not going to be rich with content. But I'm hoping that by using this environment, I can go ahead and build out different pieces of Microsoft Teams to see how much you can actually extend it. So the first thing I just want to talk about is give you a quick overview of the Teams client. From the Teams client, you have along the left-hand side navigation bar, you see your activity feed, your chat window that you can chat with various users within your organization. You have your teams here. These are your individual teams that you can create and add members or guests to your organization. The calendar. So this is actually very cool. So the Teams integrates directly with Microsoft or Office 365 or Outlook's calendar or Exchange's calendar. So you can see your entire Outlook calendar on here, and you can join your Microsoft Teams meetings directly from the calendar. Calls, this is where you can go ahead and make phone calls out of Teams, okay? So you can call anyone within your organization, or you can integrate a calling plan from various calling providers into Microsoft Teams and use Teams as your actual phone system. And then files, you can have a quick view of all the files that you are sharing on Microsoft Teams. So as you can see, if I select Teams here, it'll show me the files that have been active in my various chats and whatnot. It'll show me the files that I've been able to download from Teams. You can also integrate your cloud storage here, and you can integrate your OneDrive account to be able to see all your documents from OneDrive. As you can see, I'm navigating my OneDrive right now, and I can have the ability to open attachments directly from Teams. Now I want to get down just into the meat of it. At the very top here, I just want to mention one more thing is you have this command bar, okay? Now, if you're somebody who likes to use your keyboard and you type commands to be able to create actions, the command bar is fun. So you can use the command bar to make a call, and you can select the person who you want to call. You can use the command bar to chat or set your status. So I can set my status to do not disturb, and my status will automatically change to do not disturb in the top right-hand corner. I can set it to away, and my status will be updated to away. So the command bar is pretty cool, and there's a lot of different keyboard shortcuts. So if you select your actual user account here and go to keyboard shortcuts, you can see all the keyboard shortcuts that are available within Teams. So those of you who like to use a keyboard, you can hit Control-E on your keyboard and start typing different commands. So let's jump into actually creating a team now. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into my Teams window. As you can see, I'm already a member of our customer service team, but I'm also a project manager. So I want to create a project manager team that I can bring all the other PMs or project managers within my organization together and be able to collaborate easy on upcoming projects or help that we need to be able to, cross teams and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create or join a team. So if you have any public teams within your organization, they would automatically show up in this window. So let's say you create a team for the 2020, the basketball bracket. Okay, you'd create the team, make it public, and it would show up on this list of available teams. Okay, you can also create private teams that people can join via code, or you can also manually invite people to teams as well. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new team. You can either build a team from scratch. It's also integrated in Office 365 groups. So if you have a customer service group, or you have a shipping department group, or you have a team leads or supervisors group, you can create it based off an Office 365 group. Then that way, all of the users are automatically added to the team whenever you add users to an Office 365 group. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and build a team from scratch. I can choose whether the team is private, public, or organizational wide. An organizational wide team means that so you can create a general, like I would create a general Innovia consulting team. That way, and if anyone is ever added to our Office 365 environment, they would automatically get added to this company-wide team. I'm going to go ahead and create a private team. And we're going to go ahead and call this team the project management team, okay? And then you can add a description where the project leads can meet and so I created a team called Project Management Team, and it's where the project leads can meet and collaborate with one another. I'll select create, and it's going to Teams is going to go ahead and create my team. And then I can go ahead and add users or groups. So I can start searching for users in my organization to add. I'll go ahead and add this test user to my team. And you can choose whether they're a member or an owner. Owners have the capabilities to add or remove people from teams and also manage the channels and all the other functionality within the teams. So I'll go ahead and close to create my team. And now my team is created. And as you can see, directly below my team is an additional a group called Microsoft calls these channels, okay? And you can have multiple channels within teams. So like I say, I'm on the project management team. Now, if I want to create a channel for each project that we have open in our company right now, you can create as many teams as you want here, okay? So I can create a new channel. So I'll go ahead and add channel. And we'll call this 2020 planning. And this channel will be used for planning our 2020 year and all the projects that we have coming up, okay? And you can even set privacy per channel. So like if there are people in the project management team that don't need to be a part of a specific channel, you can set it to private and only add the members that need to be part of that channel, okay? And you can also automatically show this channel on everyone's channel list. So it'll automatically show up in their team's window underneath the project management team channel. I'll go ahead and hit add. And the channel has been created. Now, as you build up channels, each channel is part of the team that you created under. Okay, so as you can see, each channel is nested. Every team comes with a general channel. This is a channel that everyone is a part of. It has a general chat window, and you can add, when you add apps to a specific channel, when you add apps to a specific channel, they will show up for everyone that's part of that specific channel, if that makes sense. Every channel is created automatically with a posts, where you can go ahead and send a message to the entire team, a files tab, and a wiki tab. Okay, and a wiki is just going to be general information on that, on that particular channel. Okay, you have the ability to remove tabs. So if you select the caret next to tab options and select remove, the tab will be, permanently removed. Okay, you automatically have a files tab added. Okay, now this is just a generic SharePoint site. So a SharePoint site is created in the background for each team. You have once all your documents are saved on here, you can then see them within SharePoint. You can even add a SharePoint site to a channel as well. So this is getting into adding apps to the environment, which I'll show you here in a little bit. But to add a tab to your environment, you can go ahead and hit the plus button. And there it'll bring up the tab library. Okay, now these are all the different types of apps you can add to a tab environment. You can even add things such as a website or a stream environment, or a SharePoint library, or PowerPoint, or Power BI. There's a bunch of stuff that you can add from Teams, but then you also have custom apps that other companies have used or have created to extend your channels and to be able to add additional information to your teams. And so you'll be able to see a lot of different popular extensions here, like such as Adobe Sign, Zoho Projects, Confluence, which is a Jira, Atlassian Jira product, GitHub, Rike as a project management. Here's where you can also integrate your Power Apps. So these are all items that you can add just to a tab within a channel in Microsoft Teams. So if I want to go ahead and add a website, I can go ahead and select website. I'm going to add Innovia Consulting's homepage here. Go to innoviaconsulting.com. Look, they may need the HTTP, so let me do this. Innovia.com. I'll go ahead and copy the URL, hop over to Teams, paste my URL in here, and hit save. And what it's going to do is it's going to create the web page and have it rendered within Business Central, or within, not Business Central, I'm sorry, within Microsoft Teams here. Okay, and if the site isn't loading, you can click here and it'll bring you directly to the web page, but it's put Innovia Consulting's website. Now, once again, to remove a tab, you can go ahead and select the caret and select remove. It'll go ahead and remove the tab from your team. And as you can see, within each channel, you can have your own customized set of tabs. So from planning, as you can see, the website does not show up on planning. It just shows up under my general team. Okay. Next, I want to go ahead and quickly jump into adding different apps to Teams now. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is, so in my 2020 plan, in my customer service team here, I have my general folder. What I want to do is I want to connect my a demo SharePoint site to this particular team. Now, to connect a general SharePoint site, I can go ahead and hit my plus button to add a new app. And I can add a document library or a full SharePoint site to my Microsoft Teams channel here. I'm going to start with the document library. You can either do it two of one ways. If it's within your organization, within your Office 365 environment, your recent SharePoint sites will actually show up under relevant sites. You can also paste a SharePoint library URL in Teams and add it to a tab that way as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my relevant sites. I have a My BC Demo SharePoint site that I'd like to add. You could also select what folder within the library you'd like to add. So I'm going to add my documents. Hit next. And you can choose the name of that tab. So I'm going to do the My BC Demo Documents. Hit save. And it's going to go ahead and add that SharePoint document site. And from here, I can do things like I can drag in files if I wanted to. So if I go ahead and I'm going to go to my desktop here. I have this demo document Microsoft Word file here. I'm going to go ahead and drag that into my SharePoint site here. And it's uploaded. It's added to SharePoint. If I go to my SharePoint site through my web browser here, My BC Demo, Documents, SharePoint wants to run a little slow today. I don't know why Outlook's coming up. Interesting. Let's try this one more time. Go to Documents. Okay, and as you can see from my documents, the demo document that I uploaded about a minute ago is sitting in my SharePoint site. So it's fully integrated. I can even go as far as within Microsoft Teams, edit this document. So if I go ahead and select this document, it'll open up the Microsoft Word web app directly from within Microsoft Teams, and I can make the edits that I want to make to this document. close the document once I'm done making my edits, and it's updated and modified from within SharePoint. I did that all just out of Teams. Can even share or create a new document directly from Microsoft Teams, all from integrating a SharePoint site onto one of my Microsoft Teams channels. Another thing that you can do is search for people within your organization, okay? This is by using bots, okay? I'm going to go ahead and go to my App Store now, and from my App Store, I can view all the different apps and integrations that I have available for Microsoft Teams. I'm gonna search for my what's called a Who app, okay? And what Who is it's a bot that allows you to search organization-wide, and sort of it's you just ask questions, and you can ask questions about people within your organization. So who is Jeremy? Who knows about user research? Who is Ann's manager? This harnesses the power of the Office 365 environment. So I can type in who is Lisa Dorian, and then what it'll do is the bot will then search and reply back with Lisa Dorian's contact card. Okay, so it is a very, very cool way to just quickly search for people within your organization. Now, if I want to continue to manage my everything that I do out of Teams, I take a lot of notes. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to add an app that I can personally take notes that not everyone on my team can see. They're just my general notes from meetings and webinars and stuff like that. So I'm going to use OneNote. Okay, OneNote is a powerful note-taking application, part of the Microsoft 365 environment. I can go ahead and add OneNote as a personal app, okay? So I can either add it, or I can add it to a specific team, and it'll create a notebook for that specific team, so you can collaborate on notes, let's say on a project, on planning, just create a little knowledge base using OneNote. You can do that all by adding it to a team. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add it to my Microsoft Teams environment. And as you can see, it's been added to my app list here, or my list of actions on the navigational pane. But now I can have access to my entire OneNote library here. I can access my meeting notes. I can access my research notes. I can access my to-do list. This is all being accessed through Microsoft OneNote within Teams. Okay. Another cool app is an app called Weather. This is another bot. I can go ahead and add the weather bot to my Microsoft Teams environment, and in my search box at the top, I can just type a city. So I'll go, South Bend, Indiana, because that's where one of our corporate offices is, and I can see the weather for South Bend, Indiana. Or I know I have several team members that are in Tampa, Florida. If I want to get a little jealous of the weather that they have out there, I can go ahead and look at Tampa, Florida for the temperature. So it's just something quick and small that you can do with Microsoft Teams using a bot and be able to quickly answer, quickly find out information without having to jump into another environment. And from the App Store, you can find apps that can extend almost every part of your environment, or every part of Teams. You have Microsoft Flow, you can connect Zoom, you can connect GitHub. So there are a lot of different, apps that can be added onto Teams depending on what your organization is using. You can even upload a custom app, as I mentioned before. So apps that are built through the Teams developer platform that Microsoft gives out, you can upload those to connect to maybe there's services within your organizations that are not exposed to Office 365. Those can all be integrated through there as well. Pop back over to my slides here. With that, that's pretty much my overview of Teams. I'd like to open it up to any questions that anybody may have, Angie. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you letting me walk through it with you today.
Thank you, Gino. Yes, we do have a few questions that came through. Will this show me how to host and record online training sessions that can then be sent to the trainee?
Yes, so that is a great question. Okay. So I'm going to pop back over to my environment. So when you are scheduling a meeting in Teams allows you to record either meetings or phone calls within, and then the meeting will get saved through a Microsoft Office 365 product called Microsoft Stream. And then you can send the recording link, which Stream is what I would compare to a YouTube, but it's, you know, more professional, and it's meant for sharing sharing demos and videos and stuff like that. But for instance, so if I'm going to go ahead and start a meeting, I'll just go ahead and meet now really quickly. Okay, there's no microphone, but that's fine. But from within a team meeting, I can go ahead and start recording my my meeting, and it will, and as the meeting's recording, as I'm sharing my screen, all of that will all of that will be a part of the recording. So I can go ahead and record, navigate my screen through my Teams meeting. And when I'm done with my meeting, I can go ahead and hang up. And what Teams will do is it will go ahead and generate the recording for you. And then once the recording is complete, you'll receive a message, and anyone who is a part of that meeting will receive a message saying, hey, the recording is ready. You can click here to download it, or you can click here to view it. So it makes it very easy to be able to share or to record and share meetings that you've hosted in Microsoft Teams.
Okay, Gino, thank you. Along with that, can only the person that assigned the meeting or the call, are they the only ones that can record that?
Yes, that is correct. Similar to other meeting platforms, typically the organizer is the only person that can start the meeting recording.
Okay, thank you. And is there a way to view other employee calendars from Teams when setting up new meetings?
Yes. So within the calendar application, within Teams, you can go ahead and create a new meeting. And from within that meeting, you can go ahead and add, let's say we're going to do the 2020 project. And Angie, you can still see my screen, correct? It hasn't stopped sharing, right?
I can still see it, yes.
Okay, perfect. Just making sure. So from within Teams, when I'm creating a new meeting, I'm going to create my 2020 project planning meeting. You can go ahead and use what's called the scheduling assistant. It's very similar to Outlook scheduling assistant. So you can go ahead and add users, add attendees to your meeting that are within your organization, and it will display their calendar within Microsoft Teams, so you can schedule your meetings based off of the required attendees' calendars. Now, caveat, it only works for, similar to Outlook scheduling tool, it only works for people within your organization, not people outside of your organization.
Okay. And can only people invited to the Teams group view the material?
Depends how you set up the Teams group. Okay, so if you have when you're creating a team, so like say I have my customer service team here. Let me go to my team settings really fast, edit this team. You can see, you can set the privacy level of the team. So this is, so either you can have a private team, so which means that only the owner, so let's say I created this team, only I can add people to that team. And those people that are added are the only ones that can see the channels and the information and the data that's within that team. You can create public teams, so that means anyone in your organization can join this team, but it's not mandatory, so they can join it, if they want to. And then there are organizational wide teams. So you can create a team where if anyone is ever added to your organization, they're automatically thrown into this team and they can see all the information. So as long as you're a member of the team, you can see the information, but if you're not a member of the team, no, you cannot see it. You would have to be added.
Okay, Gino, I believe those are all the questions that we have for you today. If anybody has any additional questions that you would like to discuss with Gino, his contact information is up there, or you can contact your rep at Innovia, and we'll be happy to discuss further with you. All right, well, thank you, Gino, for presenting today, and to everyone on today's webinar, or if you're watching on demand, we thank you for joining us. And for those of you that will be attending our customer conference, Gino will be there, so come and meet Gino and the rest of our Innovia team.
Very good. Thank you, Angie. Thank you, everybody. I thank you for taking the time, and if you are coming to our conference, I look forward to meeting you.
All right, and to let you know that we do have some more webinars coming soon. Tomorrow we have Easy Stock presenting on Beyond the Gut Feeling, a better approach to inventory management. And also on Thursday, we have Notice presenting on Stop Wasting Time, Implement Secure Payment Processing in AR Automation. So check out our website for more of our upcoming events, and that's innovia.com/events. And also to let you know, Innovia has a podcast going on. If you have not heard of it already, it's called the Innovia Conversation. We would like to encourage you to listen to our selection that Steve and Jeff have provided to us over the last year. They do about 2 episodes a month, and you can find out about all the different podcast platforms to listen to on our podcast page, and that's innovia.com/podcast. So check out that podcast selection and subscribe so you'll be notified when those new episodes air. And our customer conference is coming up on May 20th and 21st here in South Bend, Indiana at Notre Dame. So contact your rep or visit our conference page where we have all the details for our conference. That website address is innovia.com/conferences. This is a free event for you to attend, and we would love to have you. So register now so you don't miss out on this great event. All right, well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon on another Innovia webinar. Have a great day, everyone.